And the checkers for Jeremy.
7 titles, 8 overall, all-time Supercross king.
You know, who would have thought I'd be up here even for one? My dream was to race Supercross when I was little, and 70 wins later, I don't know what's going on.
Welcome to Title 24, everybody, the beginning of the SMX playoffs. Anyhow, Title 24 presented by NBC Sports, me and RV coming at you guys mostly every week. Really stoked for today, RV. This is a long time coming. We got a very special guest with some serious heat, legend, icon of the sport, the king of Supercross. Jeremy McGrath is joining us today, and let's pay some bills real quick and get him in here. We got to thank United Motorsports, Quadlock, Boxo, Dunlop, and Cardo. Thank you guys very much for your support, especially our new partners. You guys are awesome, and we appreciate everything. But the United Motorsports moment of the night, or moment of the week, pardon me, let's bring this absolute legend, and again, king of SMX, and just, again, an icon of the sport, Jeremy McGrath.
How's it going?
Yeah.
This has definitely been a long time coming.
It has. Well, first of all, thank you. And we know your time is valuable, dude. And these fans love you. You changed the sport in so many ways. You broke records and have records that I don't know that anyone's ever going to catch. You are a hero of mine, still a hero of mine. It was a pleasure to race you, and I love what you stand for. Now you're a family man. You got a beautiful family. We're just talking off the air, but dude, you don't need an intro. You're the king, bro.
Oh man, that's cool. Really appreciate that. It's it's fun. This is gonna be fun. I remember both of you guys as like 60 and 80 riders. When you're coming up. You and RC, you and I out at Elsinore, and then some years later, Ryan, you and I at Elsinore.
Yeah.
So many fun years, and yeah, I mean, it was a pleasure to watch you guys. Of course, when the changing of the guard happened, it was all very very interesting time for me for sure, because things were rolling pretty good and they were going for a long time. But look, that's just the way things roll. I feel very appreciative to be able to make my mark in a sport that I honestly never knew I would even be able to race at the highest level. So it's been a fun ride for sure. Here we are some years later, and just enjoying my kids and my wife and my family, and still getting to ride my dirt bike a little bit and talk about racing. So here we are.
Right. And dude, like that was like, so what's your normal week look like? I mean, like, do you have like a set schedule? I mean, you've earned the right to not do anything and do what you want to do, but like tell everybody like what you normally do outside of stuff maybe we don't see on the socials and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, my week's pretty mellow. It's not too bad. I try to find a good balance, right? My wife has a store down in Solana Beach, so I do some regular days working with her, and getting some orders in the back door and just kind of filling my time with that. I still work with Kawasaki, do a lot of ambassador stuff with them, we host the Science of Supercross on the SMX show, which is very fun. We do a lot of the openings here in California at Kawasaki, so we don't have to travel so much. If we ever do on-track stuff, that's when you'll see me at a race mostly, or at least a far-away race, a flyaway race. And then other than that is try to hang out with my kids. We got a lot of sports going on, and ride my dirt bike, ride my mountain bike. Kind of, we plan some cycling stuff these days. I have a group of guys here that I try to train with to keep myself, somewhat in shape. But yeah, mostly, it's subject to change. I like it. Life is good, and again, like I said, it's my racing has been a really blessing to me.
Yeah, MC, man, it's definitely a different role being retired. I think we all went through it at one point. I think we all go through it currently too, right? Like trying to find things to motivate us, get excited about, because the sport is Supercross, Motocross, and it's such an exciting sport. And when you live it for so many years and then all of a sudden it stops, it's definitely hard to find that. Obviously, kids for you, kids for URC, kids for me. So that takes up a big chunk of it. But even still, you find yourself like, man, what am I going to do today? I just dropped the kids off at school at 8:30, and it's like, okay, well, I have a little bit of time on my hands, which is nice, but it's also it's sometimes hard to find that motivation to keep you going. I still haven't found the workout motivation yet. I've been retired for almost 10 years, and
Yeah.
I ain't pedaled
Yeah.
in about 10 years.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that's interesting that people don't realize from home is guys like you guys and myself that have been at such a high level, and you've had that carrot to chase for so long, right? And then when you retire, you're like, okay, well, I'm like one of the lucky ones. I don't need to go to work, right? If I don't want to, but I got to find something to do. And when you're racing, you're like, oh man, I can't wait to golf every day. It's going to be so awesome. And then when you golf like 2-3 days in a row, you're like, this sucks. Like, I love golf, but I mean, I need something else to do, So it's funny to hear you say that, because you guys are a little bit behind me in that. Obviously, Ricky, you're keeping yourself really busy with traveling and doing Supercross and all the stuff you're doing. And then RV, you got your boys, you're racing dirt bikes, which I had girls, so we're not racing dirt bikes, right? So I'm going to soccer fields, I'm going to gymnastics, and now we've been big into lacrosse for a long time. But those kind of things you have to find that balance, because you'll wake up and you go like, all right, what am I going to do today?
Yeah.
And you just sort of have to get a routine. And it is interesting how everyone handles it. We're all pretty lucky in our situations, but I could see it being very stressful for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What you said, MC, it's like we've talked about it a little bit. We've been in Utah and stuff. Yeah, the balance. I definitely got the balance wrong right now for the most part. But you're right. You have to keep yourself busy. And like MC, we're talking like for you guys listening, whoever's listening and watching this show, like, our kids, MC's got one daughter that's already off in college, one getting ready to go. And the same for me. My kids are going to be off and gone to college. So I feel like keeping yourself busy and finding that balance, is definitely important. I mean, it's definitely going to be weird. You already are going through it, MC. You know what it's like to a certain extent. I'm going to be living that. So it's going to be an adjustment for me, but it's a kind of like a bittersweet, like you're stoked to see your kids go up and grow up into the real world. It's, I don't know, it's kind of exciting. Like we talked about it before we went on, like doing college visits and stuff like that, things that I certainly didn't do. MC, I don't think that you did it either. It's just fun to see how real world is, right? Like, it's cool.
Yeah, no, I love doing the college visits because it's just so foreign to me. Even when I was young, I wasn't watching college football. I always loved NFL football, right? But never watching college and all this stuff. And now with having kids of that age, you're like, man, this is like a whole scene, and it's very, very interesting. So yeah, it's I think out in California, out west here, the school thing's not sort of popular like it is sort of in the back east or the south or whatever. There's just too much stuff to do out here, right? Kids go, there's some colleges or whatever, but it's not like it is back there where it's just big SEC football and all this stuff. So it's an interesting time. And it's funny. I always thought I would have a boy, right? I always thought I'd be spending time at a dirt bike track. That just didn't work out for us. And I think it was a blessing because I got all those weekends back to myself, which, being in the world we're in, I was always like, all right, I want to have a son, but man, I sure love having daughters. It's been
amazing. Yeah, it is not. I'm with you. Like, my kids don't do anything in moto. Obviously, they love it.
Yeah.
My son watches all the time, but like, it is kind of nice that they're not in it. I mean, I love moto, just like all three of us do, but it's nice to just live a normal life, right? And go to football games with them and stuff. So, hey, you've created something that I think is like super cool. I think the fans love it. I love watching it. Tell us a little bit about the Jeremy McGrath Holeshot King Challenge. And you got an event coming up at Motocross of Nations. It's going to be under the over by the Monster Energy setup and rig and all that stuff. But dude, this thing is so badass. Like, tell us a little bit about that and like how you came up with that. I think it's so cool.
Right. So, I think all of us, like, we still love dirt bikes so much. We still think like, man, I want to get out there. I want to compete against, Jet, or I want to compete against somebody. Me, I'd be like, hey, I want to compete against you guys. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, let's find something cool. And for many years we had you guys know about the event, Straight Rhythm, of course, with the jumps and all the stuff. And it was just a pretty big deal. Right. But it was just so dangerous for guys like us, right?
Yeah.
We're not riding Supercross. We're not doing that stuff. And I'm like, you know what? Me and my friend Scott were sitting around. We're like, we should create a little drag race situation, and it's something that we could run at half times. We could run it. And here's the little clip of it. We ran one at King of the Hammers. We've had a couple of them, and they're so fun. We set up the grate, and basically all it is a drag race. It's a Holeshot challenge. We run a start contest, no lockdowns, old school style, and just bragging rights, man. It's just like the old school NHRA drag race. And so we've ran it at Day in the Dirt a couple times. We ran it at KOH this year at King of the Hammers up in the desert when they had King of the Motos. Was really fun, really successful. In fact, I got beat by Ty Davis. He brought out like a 302 stroke, and he was crushing, man. It was so good. And we set up drag lights and the whole thing and just kind of make it a show. And so yeah, it was just one of those things that, like, in my head, I'm just imagining, all right, I'm imagining this at Supercross or at a halftime show with all you guys and me and all the biggest names, all the monster athletes that we can get. And we go out there and we have a 10-12 minute just battle. And then at the end, it's just, you're the Holeshot king. That's what it is.
So it's like a bracket. It's like a bracket, right?
It's bracket style. Yeah. If you win, you keep going. If you lose, you're on the trailer.
Dude.
Yep. Yeah. No, it was cool. We got to experience it last year at Day in the Dirt.
Yeah, Ryan was there. Yeah.
The boys were out there and it was going on, and they're like, dude, I want to go do it. So I lined them up there, from 50s all the way up to, I think, there was a couple 500s out there too. So all different classes, but the boys were able to do it. It was a good time. Everybody lines the sidelines, At Day in the Dirt's a pretty loose program. So yeah. I think it would be super sick at Motocross of Nations, like we've talked about, one of the biggest events that you can race your dirt bike at. But then to have something like this Holeshot challenge that is really low key and all about just the fun. Yeah, sure, we want to win, or whoever's participating wants to win, but it's more of I think time to bring the people together to get them to watch something really fun, really cool, let alone very safe. Anybody can come off the couch to do it, which is awesome. Like you said, Straight Rhythm was a cool event, but man, it got out of control with quads and triples and the amount of how high speed you would get going.
The risk.
Yeah, the risk for the reward for us old guys or older guys that don't ride as much. It wasn't worth it. So I think it's cool. Like I said, we've already participated in one of them.
Yeah, Ryan was there when we did like proof of concept, and it was pretty cool. And remember, the weather just turned to shit that night. It was windy and cold, and the course was lined up, and people were just pumped. So we were just having some fun. And I think, it's all about the microphone and just we're teasing each other. And it's kind of like a sort of just a bro hangout, and we just have a little fun and we create a little racing. It's kind of that scene. And I just wanted to make it no pressure, have fun. Yeah. We get to get on there and talk some crap and challenge each other a little bit and see what us old guys still got on the start. In fact, I was talking about it the other day. I'm like, I need to get a new clutch on my bike, because if I'm going to compete, that my bike's worked. I gotta get her tuned up. So I know some of our bikes are going on the Monster rig, which really stoked about Monster putting this thing at the stage. And I can imagine. I mean, just like Ryan said, it's like Motocross of Nations is gonna be lined up. We got music, you got Monster, you got the perfect setting, the perfect stage, and then to have you guys involved with it's going to be really, really sweet.
then you talk about that, dude. I'm just thinking, like, I love how intimate it is for the fans and how close that they can get, right? And you're gonna have European fans that maybe don't see us, old guys much anymore, and then you got the U.S. fans, and then I think it's gonna be epic. We're gonna be mic'd up. We got some Cardo communication going on, so the riders will be able to talk to each other. So will you are there, what's the rules, so everybody know, just for the event at Motocross of Nations? Like, tell us.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's exhibition only, of course. So we're going to try to have this thing with 12 of us, right? There's going to try to be 12 of us, because it's going to be let's just call it a 30 or 40-minute show, right? We're going to be able to nail some starts, and then we're going to put everyone into a bracket. And then if we have a group of 12, we'll probably do best 2 out of 3, right? So if you lose 2 times in a row, you're out or whatever. So, and we just kind of wind it down, and at the end, we see who's going to be the Holeshot king, and we get a trophy involved, and just kind of, the whole thing's for fun, man. It's just, we want to get big names. We want to get big names like you. And I think it's mostly just for the fans, right? We want to line that place up and get them yelling, going crazy, and just make some great video and have some fun. So that's kind of what I'm amped up about,
Hell yeah. Is it like a great no starting device? Like, what's that? Like,
yeah, we have a starting gate. It's a steel grate, just like the boys are racing on now. No starting device allowed. We are considering. I just got a new gate, showed up here. So this week we're setting all this thing up. We're making sure everything's good. Then we pack it up, put it on the monster semi, and head back to Indiana. But we were also considering making some new grates for just a few feet in front of the start. But I think it depends. You guys have been maybe to Ironman. I haven't, but maybe the dirt there looks pretty good. If we have a tractor on site, you can kind of fix the front of the gate like that. It's a lot of work, because we're just ripping starts, so the thing gets super dug out. But anyway, we have grates, brand new starting gate, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So
RV, it's right up your alley, dude. Like, no starting device.
Yeah, I know. We've talked about no starting devices on the show quite a few times, MC. It's going to be tough pulling all those big horsepower out of those 450s, like leaving the grate, let alone anything on dirt, like go back, type it into YouTube. You can find it, but those are, 250s. Now we're on grates plus 450s. So it's going to be tough, man. I haven't done a start without a starting device in years.
Hey, I don't
go ahead, RC.
I was going to say little Dunlop debate here. So, MC, well, I don't want to put you on the hot seat, MC. I don't want to do that to you. I want to ask RV, like, so this competition, this Holeshot Challenge, King of Holeshot Challenge, who do you think, is there a sleeper there, RV? You think you got it in the bag? Like, is there certain one? Like, where are you at with it?
With the 12 or 13 or whoever we get for dude, I don't know. I'm assuming we're gonna have a fair amount of freestyle riders involved, so I feel like that's probably not gonna be terrible. Meaning to beat those dudes. Maybe I'm wrong.
Dude, MC just threw.
But
no, I don't know, man. You never know. Some of those guys wanted to be us. They wanted to be racers.
Yeah, no, that's true. So I don't know. I mean, RC, you're gonna be good. I think I'm gonna be decent. MC, same thing with you. I'm assuming maybe Stanton's gonna be in there. So
try to get Stanton. Try to get Bradshaw.
Yeah. Oh, Damon. Yeah, he'll be good.
Dude, I think Stanton might be good, straight up. That guy, like, we were doing like little hole shots on our adventure ride. MC, I don't know if I told you this, RV, but that guy is so competitive to the point where it's hard for me to like play with him, just because he takes it up another notch. Even like when we were doing wheelies and stuff, he's like, dude, I can beat you. And like, of course he did. But I mean, he's like 80 mile an hour down these paved roads. I'm like, dude, something goes wrong, it's over, bro.
Stanton's got a little leverage on all three of us with the height difference. No starting device. It's gonna be tough. I'm definitely gonna need a set of blocks.
Hey, and he has experience on a 500 with all the power. So,
well,
I don't know.
There you go. See, that's gonna be That's going to be fun, everybody. If anyone who's listening to this podcast, watching it, you got to turn up at Motocross of Nations. Check out Jeremy McGrath's Holeshot King Challenge. It's going to be fun, like MC said. I mean, just the camaraderie between all the old racers, low pressure, but yeah, it's still competitive. You want to have fun, but do good, and just the intimacy of what it's going to be like there at the Monster Rig. And it's going to be an epic night. I'm assuming it's Saturday evening, right?
Yeah, it's going to be Saturday afternoon, probably like 5 to 6 or whatever it is, 6 to 7, something like that.
Right.
Probably in the daylight still, I'm guessing, because we don't have daylight savings at that point yet.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm sure it's late afternoon on Saturday after the qualifiers, when all the fans are revved up and ready to have some fun. So it's going to be good.
Oh, revved up, that's for sure.
I might be revved up. I might be.
Who knows?
I can tell you that much.
Yeah, who knows? This is pretty low risk.
That's right. No jumps. I'm in, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Right. No
Yeah.
looping out though.
No. Oh, dude, shots fired. Shots fired. Hey, for the Boxo breakdown section. So Boxo, I don't know if you have a tool sponsor or whatever, MC, but if you don't,
I have a Boxo sitting on the bench.
Oh,
heck
sick,
yeah.
Dude. Perfect.
Of course
All
I
right.
do.
So Boxo breakdown. Haven't heard much about your opinion. I know you came on RDL a couple times earlier in the season, but for 2025, and I for me myself personally, just breaking it down super easy. Was there anything that surprised you from anybody that you're like, wow, they did better than I thought? Maybe they didn't do as well as I thought. Like, what was your biggest surprise, or a couple notables for you for the regular season so far?
You know, I just really love watching. I mean, recently I really love watching the 250 class. You know, the guy, just the battles are so good. I think, you know, obviously Deegan stands out. He's incredibly tenacious, right? He just he won't take no for an answer, and I like watching that. Cole Davies was a surprise, right? The kid came out firing in Supercross. I'm like, whoa. Yeah. It's always funny because you think even us experts, you're like, all right, I can see what's going on. I can see who's coming, what's happening. And then you get a guy like that comes along and you're like, well, I don't remember seeing him, you know, a year ago or whatever. And so that was cool, refreshing on that. 450 class, you know, just watching Jet ride is pretty darn amazing. I think, you know, everyone just needs to recognize what they're watching out there. It's pretty incredible. And then just watching the other guys try to pick up the pieces and try to battle with them. You know, we've all said it 100 times already, stuff about Sexton, where he's like, all right, he's so on, and then, you know, some weekends he's so off. So it's been a little hot and cold here and there, but yeah, it's been fun to watch. Looking forward to the future here, because I think there'll be some good battles in the 450 class, you know, coming up. Maybe not this next season too much, but 26, I think.
Yeah, MC, like, obviously we've all seen how good Haiden is. We kind of know his MO. We got a fan question. Jonah MC -22. Will Deegan's attitude and how present himself backfire on him going in the 450? You know, do you think the confidence, do you think that the way he portrays himself, will that bite him in the ass or not in the long run?
You know, it's something we talk about a lot too, right? Because some of the stuff you're like, ooh, man, that's pretty brazen, you know. But we all, as pro athletes, you have to have a certain level of confidence, right? I think where the balance is, you got to walk the line between confident and arrogant. And look, we've all kind of, you know, been on that teeter-totter at times. For now, it's working, right? The minute that doesn't work is when you get a little too overconfident and you can't back up what you're talking about. But right now, it's working. And if that's what he needs, for us as fans, we're getting a show out of it. It's very interesting. There's nothing to say all the time, which is good stuff. And the riding speaking for itself. So in my opinion, that stuff can definitely backfire, right? I've been a victim of that myself, getting too confident, go out there and have a problem, crash, hurt myself, whatever. But, you know, we haven't seen a lot of that for a while. We haven't seen any attitude. We haven't seen any stuff like that. So for me, it's definitely fun. It's interesting.
Right. Hey, one more for you. It's Jen L. Hart. How long do you think it'll take Deegs to make it to the top of the 450 class? Like, they've all heard our thoughts. Why we're asking.
Yeah.
Like.
Right. I think my opinion on that is, look, he's anxious to get there, right? He knows he's already like, all right, I've got this 250 class down. Now I should be moving up. But Brian's smart. He's not going to let him move up until he capitalizes on all the titles and gets all the confidence and all the wins, which will happen in 26. He'll be out there in 26 for the outdoor motocross series on a 450, from what we hear. I think he's going to come right to the top. It's not going to take long. Motocross, it seems right now, motocross, he seems a little, maybe just a tiny bit stronger than he is in Supercross at the moment. But all that's still coming along good. So I figure 26 is going to be, Haiden in the 250 class, and then 27, I would say, in Supercross is going to be pretty interesting, because by then he's going to have a whole nother year of experience, and I don't know. I'd say we have some fireworks coming, probably 27.
Yeah. Hey, MC, like, I'm going off script here, and then we'll be done talking about Deegs. RV and I have kind of voiced our opinion. We have a different outlook on it, but I wanted to ask you, I mean, the king, just an icon of the sport, took it to another level. And I know that you did this, and I just want to know your opinion. Do you still think that there would be a benefit in today's world that a guy that is currently in the 250 class steps up and race opposite coast in the premier class with zero expectation? Like, do you think that it would have been a good idea or bad idea for a guy like Haiden to race the premier class in opposite coast just to get a sprinkle of what he's up against for the following season, like you did?
Yeah. I know in my situation, that was like definitely needed. The first round, I went to Daytona the first time on a 250, and it rained like hell, and I was like terrible, and I don't even think I finished, maybe 20th or something. But the next few weeks came along, did a little bit better, and then I only raced four races maybe, and I finished fourth by the time the fourth one came around, which was pretty sweet. I certainly don't think it could be a bad thing. I know some might say, oh, wow, it's a little bit risky, right? But in my opinion, you kind of gotta find the gauge, I think, and I think, let's say he comes in 27 with no experience riding a 450, and he expects to be at the top, and then he doesn't. Let's say he's fifth or sixth or something, first round or something. Possibly not going to happen, but let's just play it out. I think maybe that would shock him more than if he went and raced a race early and got fifth or sixth, and he goes, okay, now I know where I'm at, and I got to work from there. So you can look at it two different ways. I think selfishly as a fan, like, let's see him race a 450 once, but if it doesn't go well, I don't know. It's motivating to me when shit don't go well, right? Because people are like, oh, you can't do it. Now, I just don't know their world. And I know the idea is to stay on top as long as you can, right? Race every race, try to get all the confidence you can before you move up to the 450 class. Well, if it didn't go well, that's okay. It doesn't discount what he's already done. I think it would be pretty good, pretty useful if he did do it.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure we'll see it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's very rider dependent too, right? Like, I don't think it would have worked well for me. I mean, I struggled for 2 years.
Yeah.
When I moved up to the 450, I just wasn't ready. Was flat out of shape. Wasn't ready. It took me a while to get my feet underneath me. Now I think Hayden's way more advanced, way better, and I think he's a better rider than probably I ever was. At least in this part of his career and this stage in his career. Much more refined than I was leaving the 250.
All of us. Yeah, probably all of us.
Exactly. And I think that's just every generation, right? Like, coming out of the 250, right. I was maybe more refined than you coming out of the 125 class, and so on and so
right.
on and so on. Sure. so I think it all is rider dependent. So, I'm more on the side of like, man, it potentially could be a risky move. But I think I know RC, because we've debated about this on the show in shows past, that he's like, dude, get in there, get your feet wet. Dunge did it. It worked out really well for Dunge when he was still 250 and then stepped in and did I think he did 4 or 5 rounds. And I think, shit, man, he ended up on the podium on one of them, I believe. So it helped him, right? I think it was good for him. But I don't know. It's not for every rider.
I think in some cases it can raise your stock level, right? I mean, it could, like, if he came out and got podiums right away, it's like, oh, dude, every team's going to want him. All of a sudden he's got a big, not like he needs more credibility. He's got all that going, but it could work in a very positive way also, just aside from the results part of it.
Yeah, I love it. Thanks. That was good. Love your insight. I'm on the same page as you for all the reasons that you said. I know, like, coming into 99 when I was racing you and the rest of the premier group, like, I wish I would have raced some stuff in 98. I had a lot of confidence on the 125s and just going in and just racing you guys and having no expectations, but at least learn how the bike works,
sure.
learn how other guys race. And, again, just how the bike works and how gnarly everybody is in that class. I think it would have given me a better gauge, and I would have known how to handle myself better in my first year of it. That's what I think.
Yeah, I don't think it can hurt him, because it's not going to change what's already happened. He's killing it, doing well. I just have a plan. Maybe not race every East Coast race or whatever it is, but you could go out and race two or three races, get your feet wet, and go, okay, now I know what I'm up against.
That's right. Well, all right. So quad lot question of the week. MC every week, quad lot gives away some swag on the show, and we pick out a winner through all the questions, and have, like, we get quite a few questions. We try to pick out the best one. It's tough because there's a lot of people that have the same questions, but the winner of this week's quad lot question of the week, and I've never asked you this, and I'd love to know what your view is on it, but the winner is Seco 290. Seco 290 asks, do you guys wish they had the playoff rounds in your day, or were you happy to have a break? So MC, you're our icon guest today. You answer this question first.
Well, here's my opinion. I think every sport evolves, and it's so neat to see Supercross, becoming even much more and more than it ever was, and bigger, and it's a pretty neat deal. It's pretty exciting. Obviously, I'm a fan, so it's neat. Do I feel like, we had 16 Supercrosses when I raced, and then we had 12 outdoor motocross. So there's, 28, 29 weekends. We were usually done on Labor Day weekend. Yeah. Usually that was like the end of the series, Steel City. And then, so that's beginning of September. So you had 3 months, October, November, December, to really start preparing and get ready and that stuff. So, we that time allowed us to go race in Europe, go see different parts of the world, go get start money when there was no pressure, get some camaraderie with your competitors that you're riding with. You guys remember back in the day. I used to hang out with all the guys I raced with. We had a lot of fun. Now in Europe, we did the same thing. So those times were some of my best memories growing up as a kid. Getting some worldly experience and just being out there checking stuff out, and it was neat. Had the schedule been the way it is now for my era, I would have never gotten to see France. I would never get to see Italy like so many times. All these fun places, Spain, met all these great people that I still know today and still talk to. So I'm extremely happy the way it worked out. There's a few things I don't like that I would change about today. I'm still not totally sold even all these years later on lap times. To me, sometimes it bothers me with that kind of thing. Like RV said earlier a little bit, I'm not sure we need start devices that you need tools to lock the bike down. I think it's taken some of the element I think it's taken some of the element away from the racer. Let's let the racer be the racer and be the talented racer he is. So I think there should be a limit to that. I mean, we're seeing guys in the first turn where their bike's still locked down. They're having to hit sections with the thing locked down. I mean, that's just dangerous. And then you see guys that crash on the first turn because their bike is so locked down going down the straightaway that they have no suspension, which means they have no traction when they hit the brakes. No matter what you got on your bike, if you hit the brakes, the thing's just going to twitch and fall out from under you. So I think there's a few things we could work on, but I'm pretty stoked on the SMX series. It's different. I know the riders probably are like, man, it's very, very long, which it is. But I was looking at it the other day, and if you go all the way to Motocross of Nations, right, which sometimes we've been there, we've all had to do that, they're still going to have about 2 months off, right? So, 2 months is a fair amount of time, but we had an extra
it's
month,
tough.
so it's hard to say. Yeah.
It's tough. That 2 months, obviously, depending on manufacturers coming out with new bikes and testing and all of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it. Like I've always said, MC, get rid of grates. I don't mind the lockdown device, but I think go back to dirt so that practice or your time practices are more of a priority instead of having 22, grates. It doesn't matter where you start, you potentially can get the whole shot from. And it comes down to the actual reaction time plus laying the traction to the ground on the dirt. I think when you have a dirt start behind the gate dirt, it adds about 3 or 4 different elements into, let alone just getting the whole shot, where the grate, I think, simplifies it to about, 2. It's basically reaction time, getting a good leave off of and not wheeling off the grate. And if you can do those 2 things, you're typically going to be up front.
Yeah. One of the other things I think that the steel grate does is you have everyone coming off so good that it doesn't really separate itself by turn 1, right? When you have a dirt start, dirt behind the gate, you get more of a funneled sort of, everyone lines up and they funnel in because of what happened on the dirt start. Now you got everyone just thundering down to the start, and it's hard to even get in if you want to be even if you get just a tiny bit better than the other guy, it's hard to get down because everyone has such great starts. So, yeah, I'm a fan of both. I think you're right. I just think they need to give more priority back to the racer, and I think there's some of the things that we could do to still change that back a little bit. I'm also in agreement with evolving and seeing how it goes, but they've done a lot of testing now and they have a lot of real world experience, so it'd be fun to kind of minimize some of that stuff.
Yeah, I think like going back to the quad lock question, I think that the playoffs, I don't know, like it would have been it would have been tough, I think, depending upon who you're racing, and I've always said this, like I feel like MC, if you would have found ways to win the playoff system, RV, you would have found ways to win the playoff system. Good guys, I mean, elite champions, I feel, just find a way to get the job done no matter what the format is. Even if I think the way the format is, and a 3-race world championship, or how the 3-race playoff, I do think it makes it harder, but I still think that somehow, some way, for sure, you 2 guys would have figured out a way, even though I do think it is probably a bit harder because some guys are better at managing, 3 rounds than they are 17 rounds or 11 rounds, right? But so I think that overall, less races will probably be a little bit better. I don't know what the magic number is. I don't know if it's 25 races. I don't know if it's 27 races. I don't know if it's 22 races. That's above my pay grade. It is quite long, like you said, MC. We were always done on Labor Day weekend, and then you could pick and choose the other races that you wanted to go race around the world for start money. So I don't know. So I feel like back in the day, like when you would go to those races in Europe or other continents, it was less pressure, and that's the difference. I think that maybe people get confused with on SMX is there's a world championship on the line, and I think that's the difference between going out and racing 5 more races and getting start money. Maybe, I don't know.
I would agree with that. I think, back in the day, going to Europe with some of your buddies that you raced with and all that it didn't matter what happened. There wasn't some title on the line. It didn't matter. Just kind of fun, worldly experience. And so you're right. I think just, what the SMX series does now is just, it creates just a longer pressure situation, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have to be healthy. You have to be on point. As good as athletes as they are, as all these kids are, they still need a break, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You just adapt. Like you said, the top
That's
guys
right.
find a way. Top
That's
guys find a way.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, they always do. So, hey, boys, we're going to do a little reminiscing here, mainly for you guys, MC and RC. We got some fan questions here. I'll take it away with this first one here. Tito Mong, if McGrath could travel in time at his peak to race against the best, which year was your peak and why?
Ooh, that's a good question. I like that question. What is it, MC?
Well, the good thing about us three sitting here is we had a lot of good years, right? That you can compare to, right? So you can go, all right, well, let's just start out with my Honda years.
Yeah.
My rookie season was 93. I won 10 races. It was pretty good. That was really good. I mean, just to win my first race over guys like Stanton and guys that I looked up to was just a weird mental thing, right? When you're finally racing your heroes, it's strange. But I mean, of course, 96 when I got almost the undefeated season with the 14 wins and the 1 second. I would have to say that was a pretty peak year for me. We won Motocross of Nations that year, won a lot of motocross races that year, but that was also the year that I said that I got a little overconfident and tried to jump a jump that shouldn't have been jumped. And I just thought nothing could go wrong at that time. And it did, and it backfired on me. So that was a great year. 98, I came back to Yamaha at that time, was a pretty decent year, but I'd say 99 was a great year, won a lot of races. So I don't know. I mean, I think everyone might look at my career and go like 96 was the peak year. So
Mm.
I don't, dude. I go back to like 98, and
yeah,
because I was there at at least half of them.
Yeah, you were there.
Well,
Yeah.
no, that was when my last year on 125s, and like
So you rode some. Yeah, you rode some.
yeah, we were both we were both kicking ass, and it
Yeah.
just like I don't know, you just look like you're having so much fun, and I just remember like listening, dude, that Yamaha sounded so sick, and you
The
were
silencer on that thing was like this long. Sounded so good.
I don't know, like I don't know,
Mitch was
Michael,
hooking that thing up, man.
dude, the shorty, it was good. I don't know, like to me in 98 Supercross, it just looked like you were at one with the bike and you had everybody covered in the long run. I mean, people were challenging you obviously, but I don't know, you just had this air of confidence about you. It was cool to see. I don't know.
What year was it that you ran the donglies off the bottom of that bell helmet all the way around
Oh
the bottom?
yeah. The lampshade,
Yeah.
dingleberries hanging off the bottom.
Yeah, what year was
That was I think that was 96. Yeah, that was like 96 Anaheim. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
we always had
that
I
was
always had
always
a special paint job for Anaheim. So Troy would always come up with something.
that
And I
was
always
that
laughed
was I always really liked that helmet.
yeah, it was a really fun helmet. The funny thing is when you're wearing it, it looked like you had no neck because it was hanging down like a lampshade and it just went to my shoulders and it was so funny. Because it just looked so strange. But yeah, we were always trying to have some fun,
Yeah, that was a cool era. Like you look back now and see, and I think we see a little bit of more of it now. Characters with Jet and Hunter and Haiden for sure. It seems like it's getting a little more back to, I guess, like that. Where myself,
Personality.
RC, we really lived inside of a box, and I guess we're very cookie cutter. And then and it came from call it like your era where it was like you said, dude, we'd go hang out with the dudes we were racing. We'd go to the lake and we'd hang out, and then we'd go beat each other's ass on Saturday night, and then we go back, so that's just different. I feel like I wouldn't say coming back. It's coming back, but in a different way. So that's good to see. It's not so cookie cutter.
Yeah, I agree. I think Sexton's got some style too. It's like, everyone it just, I love the sport so much. I just I don't want everyone to be mad at each other over the competition. Like we all started this sport because we love it so much. And I realized, Stanton's era and RJ and all those guys, they Bradshaw is like always like mad at everyone, which was fun, And I loved Bradshaw. He was like one of my favorites, if not my favorite. And I'm just like, why has he got to be so mad at everyone?
Yeah, so, he's still that way today.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still that way today.
He's competitive, that sucker. But I'm looking forward to him yelling at us at Indy for the Holeshot challenge. See what happens.
Oh, he will be.
I actually don't want him to win now that you said that, MC, because I want to see him. I want to see him go rogue on.
The beast from the east. Can't wait.
Dude. Yeah. No, it's good. All right, next one. Jeremy_Smith28. RC says he lost sleep over Reed. Jeremy, was there anyone you lost sleep over racing against, and why?
I mean, I've said this 100 times. I think Emig and I had a great rivalry. We battled hard, and I've said it 1,000 times. I never liked the way his etiquette was on the track and the things like that. So I lost sleep over the way that he would race me sometimes, because it was just kind of sort of sketchy. And we've all had those guys that want to throw the bike right at you right off the lip of jumps, and it's kind of sketchy. Yeah. Got into it with Lusk a few times. He was kind of a bad boy at times. He threw in a couple gnarly passes on me before and knocked the shit out of me. But for the most part, look, I always say this, and you guys know this better as much as I do. My race was never against one guy. My race was against me, and it was against the track. If I did those things good, the rest of it would show up, right? The rest of it would work itself out. I chose not to worry so much about other guys and what they were doing. I didn't give a shit. All I wanted to do was be the best that I could be on the track. And I just felt like that would keep my head much clearer if I didn't think about other people and I was just worried about what I was doing. And, I've said this in interviews for so long and so many years that I always just try to keep myself as the underdog. No matter how many races I was winning, just keep myself as the underdog. So it just kept that drive going. And that was just the kind of way I looked at it. I try not to worry about what the other guys are thinking. But at times you get caught up, right? I mean, look, Lust was pretty competitive at times. LaRocca was there sometimes. Wyndham was, when I was riding Yamahas and Wyndham came up as a rookie, he was battling hard until Charlotte. He went over the bars really bad and endoed himself. And then from there on, it kind of knocked his confidence down a little bit. And that was, I think, Ricky, that was 98. But
yeah, it was on the far section back there.
Yeah.
I remember that starting like he was jumping over the start, right?
Yep.
Right, the corner.
And it was a bit muddy, and I think he caught pegs or something and went over the bars and just scorpioned himself. But yeah, I mean, there's guys I thought about, but I just tried not to think too much about that.
Yep.
Great answer, dude. Epic answer. It's like Big Rick always used to tell me, not always, but he told me one time, and he was right. And my motto is very similar to yours, MC, RV. Yours was the same way. It's like you race. He'd tell me, say, you worry about what you can do. You can't control what those guys are going to do. And the minute that you start worrying about them, they already got you beat. So just go do what you do.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when, there's those guys that, RV or battle with Stewart and, some of those gnarly battles, and RCU with Chad and Stewart. And then, I had my guys. And then, of course, Ricky, when you were coming up, and I was like, oh, shit, how am I going to handle this? So, I mean, it was, there's guys you think about, but like Big Rick says, you worry about what you can do, and the rest will work itself out.
Yep, that's right. Love it. So we got one more. Lux Precision's Auto Works. Can Ricky and Jeremy break down the A1 whip photo from 2001?
You
Oh,
want to
the
go?
famous
You
Fox
you
photo.
go first. Yeah, you go first, or you want me to go first? I mean,
Well,
you,
I'll just tell you. I'll just tell you what I was thinking.
yeah, go for it. I want to hear it.
So Ricky's young, he's wild at that time, and
Oh yeah.
and I'm like, I'm the older statesman here, and we're coming up, and I'm like all set to do a whip, but I think Ricky just scared me, and he was so close to me, I just boner aired out. I'm like, ah. So I didn't really get to do. Obviously, it's painfully obvious when you look at this photo. Ricky's just cranked, and I'm like, whoa. So yeah, I think for me, it was just like, I think I was going to try to do a whip, but Ricky was very close to me, and I heard him very close, and I freaked out. So that's what you get. That's what I remember of it.
Dude, I remember. So yeah, like those were so fun back then, like, taking the hot lap and everything. But I knew you
Yeah.
had that. I knew you had that thing, like that igniter. Like, tell everybody about what you had on your helmet. Remember what was supposed to happen?
Oh, right. Yeah. I forgot. So I had this thing that Troy Lee came up with, and we had this little fire stick that was going to go off, and I had the two metal. If you touch the metal on the gloves, or on my gloves or whatever, then it was supposed to set these sparks off on the helmet. But I was scared to set them off because I'm like, man, is this thing going to blow my head off? I'm not really sure how this thing's going to work. And so I think between the two, I was concentrating, trying to figure that out, and trying to throw some style somewhere if I could, and then worry about my head catching on fire. So, yeah, the whole thing was a bit of a disaster for me. And that was Ricky's best whip of the year right there next to me.
Yeah. Well,
that was a great one.
MC. So I was like, let's see. The reason that I got close to you, because I remember we were going up the up ramp, and you were a little bit ahead of me. So I was like trying to catch up, and I was gonna always whip it to the way that I was, but dude, they had watered the face of the triple, and
You slipped a little.
That whip was by accident. Like I was just gonna do a little. I was just gonna do a little one because, see, I knew that you had that thing. So I'm like, well, I'm not gonna try to like do anything stupid or anything like that. Like I kind of wanted to see the thing go off in flames too. Like I thought it was gonna be badass. And so, but I went to go whip it, just like a little whip, whatever. And dude, the rear tire slid off the face of the jump, and it started to over rotate. And yeah, everyone says, "Oh, you did that on purpose." Like, dude, that was totally by accident. Like, I was scared shitless that I was gonna it was gonna over rotate, and I over jumped, I over landed, and yeah, that was
Well,
wild.
that's an epic photo, by the way.
Yeah,
On your part.
It was like I feel like looking back on it, it's like when we're playing golf, it's like we both had a good miss right there, if you know what I'm saying, because mine was totally by accident. You didn't get to do what you wanted to do. It's like it was a good miss, I guess. I don't know.
Well, listen, the funny thing is we've all gotten to do a lot of those parade lap jumps, right? And most all of them have went off well. And it was just one of those days that it just didn't go off well. And I mean, your whip right there, yeah, you could see that thing's so cranked that the bike probably slipped off the lip for sure. But
120% it was.
Yeah, and I was like, oh man, didn't get to do a jump, did this total bone air next to you. I'm like, this sucks. And then for the photo to become so famous, I'm like, oh, it figures.
Yeah,
so
it's crazy how it works like that.
Well, you can see how I'm checking you out. That's good.
Well, I wanted, the truth be told, I was trying to check that badass flames, but dude, I was scared for my health right there.
Yeah,
the flames never went off. You never ignited.
Flames never went off. Yeah, they never went off. I think either I missed the connector or I was too chicken to actually hit it, and so it never went off. So, anyways, yeah.
Well, MC,
it would have been way better photo if the fire was going off at least.
Yeah, totally.
Dude, hell yeah, it would have been. Well, dude, hey, thanks for coming on. We've kept you on long enough. Really stoked to call you a friend, and just so you know, like, I know for myself, I can't speak for RV, but dude, I have a tremendous amount of respect for you. It's just a pleasure to race you. I just think about some of the battles that we had, and just how gnarly you were, how much I learned from you, not only on the track, off the track. And I'm glad. I always felt like we had mutual respect for each other, and like it just, I was just lucky enough to race the best guy in the business. So we appreciate you coming on, dude, and it's truly an honor, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, you know what? Big respect to you guys. Had a lot of fun watching both of you guys in your career. You both are amazing, amazing athletes, amazing champions. Along these generations of riders, each guy, the next champion is always, learning from the previous champion. And I think we're all pretty lucky the way things worked out. And I was super proud to be part of the Supercross, motocross industry for such, so many great years. And to leave it in someone, your hands after me, was pretty proud of that. So, and then I would just say that, every year after, leave it to the next guy, and you both have killed it. So I just want to say I'm stoked to be part of it. Yeah.
Thank you, MC.
Yeah, thank you.
We were stoked to obviously talk to you, and to just be considered by you is an honor, brother, because you are the king of Supercross, and you have. I don't know that I see anyone ever beating your record. It just with how the sport is, and how much has changed. It just, I mean, it's a lot. 7 championships, 72 Supercross wins, and you are a great ambassador, and you're a great example for all of us to follow. So thank you, bud.
Well, thank you guys. That was awesome.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on, brother. We appreciate your time. Oh, dude, that was an epic conversation, RV. Did you enjoy that? I did.
Yeah, I did, man. It's funny, talking like MC talked about generations and generations to come and generations previously from him, and vice forward. But like, man, when I came to California for the first time, or moved down here, I think I was like 15 years old, rented a house right there in Menifee, so not far from his parents' house, right off the side of the 215 freeway. The Supercross track was still there. Everybody's, oh, there's MC's old house, a house he grew up as in a kid. I've actually rode there. I actually rode his Supercross track on an 85 one year before US Open. I rode pit bikes with him. So like, it's pretty cool. He was always, I was a big fan of MC's. So it's, I mean, I took his number from him. Basically, Randy Lawrence was my trainer at the time, which was for a few years was his mechanic.
Yeah.
And the number 2 became available. And he goes, we got to call MC. You can't take it unless you call him, and you got to ask him. So I did that at right after my first, I guess it would have been right after 06 outdoors, because I was able to get a permanent number at that point. And he said, let's call him. We called him up. MC's like, man, that'd be cool. And, hopefully I did it proud, which I think I did. So yeah, it was good to have MC on, man. Good dude. Legend of the sport for sure.
Yeah. Hell yeah, you did him good, dude. I mean, you flew that number 2. You did him well, dude. Well, again, thanks, MC. I think hopefully everyone is stoked if you watched or listened to it. All right, before we go to the what's on Motorsports on NBC this week, real quick, first round SMX playoffs. Not that you're going to make a prediction. What are you going to be looking for in the 250 and the 450?
Man, I think we got a stat class, right? Haiden, we talked about it. Haiden, we talked about Joe. I'm looking for Cole Davies to get in the mix a bit more. Hopefully, leaving off where he left off before he got hurt in Supercross. He's going to have more time on the bike from his injury at Salt Lake. So I'm looking forward to see where he can come out swinging. He had some good last part of the outdoor nationals. He put it up on the box there, so that was good. So we know he's got the speed. So yeah, dude, I'm looking forward to it. I like the 3 motos. Like I said, it's not just they're quicker actions of throughout the night and 3 gate drops. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be an epic. I think it's two gate drops, isn't
Was
it?
it 2 gate drops? Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2
Yeah,
gate.
2 gate drops. Sorry.
You're thinking of
that's a triple crown.
You're thinking of the Triple Crown. That's right.
Yeah.
2 gate
3
drops.
rounds, 2 gate drops. Sorry.
No, it's gonna be good. I'm with you. I think if you're gonna have, we talked about on last week's show, if you're gonna have a throwaway, this one probably needs to be the round that the throwaway is. But look, it's a reset for everybody in the 250 class and the 450 class, and I'm just stoked that there's gonna be a lot of heat there. It's gonna be hot, actually, so that I think that's going to come into play. And the last time I checked, there's a 50% chance of rain, so that again interesting, and we'll see what happens. But again, thanks to the King, that was a hell of a fun show. Motorsports NBC this week, 3 p.m. tomorrow. SMX Insiders with Weege and Jason Thomas. Check it out. The big interview. Saturday 9:30. Race day live, practice and qualifying, so you'll be able to check that out. It's an earlier race, which is cool. I love that. 2:30 is a special pre-race show that'll be live on Peacock, and then the actual show starts at 3 p.m. Eastern. SMX Playoff 1, Charlotte. It'll be on NBC and Peacock. Great that we're on the big network for the opening round, and then Sunday 3 p.m. Eastern is the NASCAR Cup Series, Worldwide Technology Raceway, and that'll be on USA. But a great weekend coming up for SMX. Again, pumped that we're on NBC. I'll be back in the saddle again, so I will be live and on location, and that's it, man. That's it.
Love it.
Yeah.
I'll be tuning in. I'll be tuning in to watch it. Me and the boys.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good, man. I'm looking forward to it. Like,
Yeah.
it's gives us something to do, something to watch on the weekends. And I'm stoked.
Sweet. Thanks, United Motorsports, Quad Lock, Boxo, Dunlop, and Cardo. You guys are the best. Remember, you can check us out on Motorsports and NBC's YouTube page. We're on demand on Peacock, and of course on all the applications for podcasts. So thanks again, and again, thanks again, MC, and we will see you next time.